Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just like that, we're on to Champ Select. I'm joined by Sam Houston's very own Style. Style, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you, Horizon?
Not too bad. First game of the season for Sam Houston's. We're going to see Sivert taken off the board. Now, you were telling me that you were getting a little bit of a sneak peek into the pro draft. So anything that we can look forward to as this draft continues to move on?
I will say that from what I'm seeing here, that the mid lane picks that we're going to be seeing here in just a second from the pro draft are going to be...
My genius will be understood.
Gotcha.
Eventually.
The other couple of champions joining into the ban pool.
Looks like
Jin.
a drop out there for 1 second there. He's going to be dropping in and out every so often. But our mid lane picks here that we do have, they're a little bit spicy. It could go either way depending on jungler intervention. And we do have some pretty gank heavy junglers here from what I'm seeing as well. So the volatility of mid lane, I think, is going to be the deciding factor from what I'm seeing here.
Yep. And Tom Kinch going up in that top lane pool, so a very safe bruiser pick, I think, especially given into the Irelia, who's going to be looking to try and get that early game kill, get that early game pressure, and trying to snowball that, getting some early roams off. And I like the Sejuani pair with that, as generally Sejuani pair with any kind of melee champion is going to be pretty good.
Yep.
So even having one or two in a composition is just fantastic. So interested to see how they round out that comp. Zenhao and Ahri been joining the list there. Interesting that they went with the Ahri, given the way that they have sort of this peel poke style a little bit with Zenhao and Tom Kinch. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, but you do have to remember, Horizon, Ahri kind of is a really strong champion right now. Currently rocking a 55% win rate in solo queue right now.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that for the people that maybe didn't hear you right the first time? I'm sorry, what percentage of win rate?
Shall I turn
55% win rate. Currently in Platinum Plus. Cool.
I must not fall.
And our boy Horizon here seems to have also dropped out of the call yet again. But he is back now. But yeah, Ahri is a really strong champion.
Absolutely. 55% win rate on any champion is something that you're definitely going to raise your eyebrows at a little bit with a champion like Ahri. I mean, especially given her damage profile and her mobility, it's not like the mages that you might see in the mid lane where they're, sort of limited by their ability to escape and use their escape tools. Ahri, both good going in and good going out. Is Misfortune going to be the other pick there? Over the side.
Yeah, and I will say that I do favor SHSU's bot lane in this matchup. Misfortune and Sona are a little bit squishy, kind of really require some channeling time, while Nautilus can really easily disrupt what Misfortune or Sona wants to do. So I do think that we should be looking around the mid lane and the bot lane. Top lane's kind of a little volatile, but you're not really going to worry about that too much because Tom Kinch is really safe. So I don't believe the Irelia should ever have a chance to kind of snowball out of control. But that bot lane and those mid lanes, if either side gets ahead, it can really spell the difference for the game.
Absolutely, and I think Nautilus long been one of those champions that we look forward to being a champion that can make a pretty easy effect on the map, no matter where he's roaming, especially giving the heavy engage and kind of this point and click CC, obviously having the auto attack CC, which is great, having the ultimate with the depth from below, and then the hook, obviously fantastic at setting up a number of tools that Sam Houston want to use. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the rift for the first game of the season of the GG Leagues. Sam Houston, their season opening here against Virginia State, as we're seeing them run out into the rift, and a 5-man stack here for Sam Houston so far, looking to make their way in towards the river. Lyros leading the way, going to be able to find this Misfortune who steps up too close right now. He's going to get spotted out, though. Lyros doesn't know he's in there. Hook's going to land, and the root's going to go down on top of the slow, and that's going to be an easy kill there for Sam Houston. First blood going over to Texai, and Sam Houston quick on the draw with that one.
Does look like I'm a little bit behind you here, but we should be good now.
Yeah, so just an excellent invade there on the side of Sam Houston.
Getting able to get that kill onto the Tom Kinch, maybe you can stop some of the growing pains of the Tom Kinch into Irelia. Really stops that avenue for the Crimson Knights here.
Absolutely, and Sam Houston obviously going to want to make early use of that gold, and I think looking towards how Sam Houston wants to kind of begin the scaling through this game, Tom Kinch is one of these oppressive laners where if he does get a lot of early goals, he's going to pick up a little bit more, clearing out some of these wards here in the top side. Definitely not a champion that you want skyrocketing very quickly. And, once he starts to put on some items, starts to get some health, is one of these champions that is notoriously difficult to deal with.
And I do believe with those 2 wards and the early first blood there, I do think that Tom Kinch is going to hit level 2 on the first wave here. So he could actually look to pressure on that and see if he's going to be able to punish this Aurelia even more. Yeah, does look like he's kind of standing back a little bit. I do believe he can pressure this a little bit harder.
The early game trading is what I'm interested to see between these two, because obviously Aurelia is one of these champions that's kind of notorious for having this damage profile where, you think you're going to win some of these early trades, and you think you're doing fine, and then suddenly you're within Ignite range and they're dashing after you and you're trying to blow a flash gun into a turret, but it ends up not mattering and you die. But obviously Tom Kinch, not one of these squishier champions that you sometimes see played against Aurelia, and especially with the first blood and with the ability to kind of stack that gray health, is more of a challenge for Winstrom in this top lane matchup to try and survive this.
And it looks like the boss here, he's kind of invading into the blue buff here, and it looks like he's going to get this blue buff steal, I believe.
It's the automated camera, of course, not wanting to pan over there, as they are starting to be to the mid lane. Flash out from Madge, though, not able to follow up on that one. Bot lane for Sam Houston, holding on to their summoners. Boss looking for a mid lane gank, but not going to find much. Puppy Cat playing it safe. Gonna get charmed for his trouble. The electrocute going down, and Puppy Cat, none the worse for wear on that one, says, I'm more than happy to take his. Hold on, fighting the bot lane. Mage gonna flash out. Burning ticking, not gonna drop, though. And just managed to survive with a little bit of health there. Apologies again for those watching for the drop in and out. We're dealing with some spotty internet connection, so we ask for your patience with this matter, and hope it's not too confusing for everybody that's listening. And nearly a kill there in the bot lane. The summoners being blown across the board there for the South Virginia team. The flash both on the ADC and the support. No exhauster heal used, though.
And we're seeing quite a CS lead in the mid lane. I do believe even if Akali does manage the last hit, which is very hard into this matchup, that she's going to be down about a whole entire wave. And that's a huge lead here.
This is not where you belong. Is going to get knocked up. The charm more than enough to hold in place. Trying to flash out. And it's going to be the wind becomes lightning flash on top of Drakegangs. Drakegangs going to get another one, though. Sato trying to find his way out of this one. Tom Kinch don't get the fray. Oh, and it's just nowhere to go. Gets tagged up, trying to flash out. And it's going to be the Q and an easy auto pickup there. Puppy Cat 1-0-2 in this lane, and a fantastic pickup for Sam Houston. An early game lead for them, getting near 3K ahead. And Styles, this is exactly what we were talking about with Sam Houston with this comp, the kind of early lead that they wanted to get out, and they are certainly executing on it.
Yeah, they're very much executing on this early game lead here. They got a 2.5K gold lead, and I can imagine, I can see this spiraling out of control really quickly, given the fact that Ahri has so many good options at getting onto people whenever she wants to go. She just has to click R, charm somebody, and then they're just dead.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you just look at the CS gold alone, I mean, it's 26-17 in that mid lane. That is certainly not going to become any easier for that Akali. Trading in the bot lane. Kimkar going to get rooted up. A hook coming on top of it. No flash. This is certainly going to be a kill. Lyros not content with one, though. Trying to fish for another hook, but going to back off. And another kill in that bot lane is Zodiac, the recipient of that kill. And we're already starting to see kills across the board for this Sam Houston squad. One for every major carry.
And they're very, very close to having a kill a minute so far. This is a very bloody game so far. But it looks like only Sam Houston is coming up with some kills.
Absolutely. So I think one of the things that we also kind of mentioned, though, was even the difficulty that...
Kind of step off the gas a little bit and just sit back and farm for a little bit. Maybe give up a dragon or two to try and see if they can scale into the late game here.
Absolutely. And what I was going to say before my internet so very rudely interrupted me was we talked about the number of things that, potentially this South Virginia team was going to have to do in order to, sort of stay in this game at a comp and the experience that Sam Houston has. So what are some of their methods, beyond just kind of sitting back and trying to farm, get some gold onto the carries very carefully? What are some of the other things that they can do to try and get back in this game?
Well, it does look like here that we do have about a 25 CS lead in the top lane here, and it looks like that the Aurelia is really beating up on the Tom Kinch and top here. So I think that DeBoss here, or Sejuani, needs to go ahead and start looking to gank top lane, maybe look for some dives I think that's the best avenue.
Fight in the bot lane, though. Mage ticking down, not going to die from the Ignite, though. Just manages to live. His boss paying another visit to that mid lane, but Puppycat not the slightest bit concerned about the Sejuani showing up. And, no summoners expended there. Not even a little bit worried. Not caught out there. Kali not close enough there either to take advantage of the fact that Sejuani was there to get no level 6 either. As Sado gets charmed. Ticking down from the Ignite, not going to die from that, though. Jumps back in, and it's going to get auto Puppycat. Sado, I don't know why he jumped back in, but he jumps to his death. Sado going to be a poor recipient of that kill. Puppycat, 150 gold bounty starting to build a little bit here, and more CS lead, again, just going to be lost by this South Virginia mid laner.
And we're seeing this gold graph kind of steadily increase as time goes on. They're currently at a 3K gold lead right now.
Strom, no, not going to be able to survive that one, though. Pop the Grey Health was burning the Ignite. And Jim's just going to get charmed up there again. Every time, I laugh because every time he comes in there, I just try to see if maybe he lands the Flash Q combo to try and knock the Ahri up. But of course, it never happens. Puppycat more than wise to that combination, so just dodging it every time. The most casual of sidesteps.
I do believe that the Windstrom here is looking like the light that the Crimson Knights here need, because the rest of the map's kind of looking a little bit grim, but Aurelia in the top lane is looking like something that you can play through, and I think that's what they need to start doing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Aurelia is well known for being one of these champions that scales incredibly well into the late game. Hold on, fight breaking down the bot lane. Mage forced to flash out again, and it seems like this ADC has just not had their flash available at any point of this game. Lyra's constantly landing those hooks and forcing the flash out. But to the early point that you were making, I think the expectation with the Aurelia is that this is a champion that's very difficult to stop in the top lane, and is definitely a way in which you can scale into the late game and can win some of these late game fights, and definitely not a champion that you want getting fed. And, you know, I do wonder for Sam Houston what their answer is going to be for that to try and keep this Aurelia from snowballing out of control.
And it does look like in mid lane here that the Akali is not opting into the tankier build, and they're going with the Proto Belt here. I think that's an interesting call.
Speaking of interesting call by Maze to try and pick that fight. He's going to drop for it and pay for it. Windstrom going to kill Stray Ganks, though, so a trade for kill, 1-for-1 in the bot and the top lane. Tech side just sitting back trying to collect some of this XP. His Jim does not have his ultimate, though. Puppycat waiting in the wings. He's going to get stunned up, pops the Grey Health. Ahri trying to knock down this Sejuani. He's going to be able to do so. First leap in, and now it's a jump back in for the Sam Houston top laner. Winston trying to find his way back in. See if he can trade. No, double kill for Puppycat, who's on fire right now. 4-0-2. And that gold lead just becoming larger and larger. Sam Houston winning out in the trade in the end.
Really good response from Puppycat there to go up top lane. Being able to go and make that double kill happen after the one clear avenue for Crimson Knight.
Mage is just dead. This is just, you hate to see it. Pupping. Not going to land it, though. Zodiac going to eat the turret. No, that's a misplay. Doesn't get the kill in the end. As Lyris was sitting there absorbing the tower shots and made a little bit of miscommunication in what they wanted to do. One auto surely wouldn't have been enough.
Lyros being a little bit... gets out of there, but that was a really scary back there.
Yeah, Sado was looking for that one, trying to see if he could find a greedy recall there. Not able to do so, though, as the support for Sam Houston managed to get themselves out. And again, Justine Windstrom still in command of this top lane, though, 80-48 in this CS lead. Definitely a large difference between the two top laners. Of course, not an expectation that Tom Kinch is going to necessarily bully the Aurelia out of the lane. By no means do you expect the Aurelia to just lose to the Tom Kinch, but all the same, the Aurelia still getting that lead in that top lane and having that extra cash to play with definitely going to help keep this team in the game.
Very interesting that Puppycat did opt into not getting...
I'm going to try and trade here on a tech side. Going to be flashing out. Gets the stun. Going to chop back in on the dash. He's going to be able to get it. is one auto attack down to see if that really survives. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, another fight breaking out. Mage, no flash, going to be the recipient of this one. It's a 4-man party, and Sam Houston invited themselves a double kill for Dre Gang, says Windstorm trying to see if he can trade onto there. No, not able to do so. Texai survives with a little bit of health. He manages to live, baits the Irelia underneath the turret. Sam Houston winning big across the map. They get the dragon, they get the kills, and that gold lead has just exploded across the board.
It does look like Windstrom's feeling the pressure to have to carry this game. Going for that tower dive, which looked like a really low percentage chance of happening, but he just feels like he has to be making plays here because it's currently a 6.
On the goalie, not going to be the only thing spiraling out of control here, as we're starting to see some of the items come across for Sam Houston, as well as Jim may have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Sato is here. The ult going to come out, trying to buy some time. Texai going to manage to land that one, though. Sato not able to jump back into the Texai is going to manage to grab it, though. So 1 for 1 so far. Sato dashing out of this one. Drakegate's not landing. The wind becomes lightning yet. Flash for flash. Lands the wind becomes lightning. Doesn't have the EQ. Sorry, the E to jump back in. Is going to land the knockup, though. And Charm, Drakegate's going to pick up that one. Maybe a little bit of a kill steal from Puppy Cat, but nonetheless going to be collecting that gold.
I do believe that you do want to kind of get that gold onto your RA so that she can get those damage items online a little bit faster. But the Zen Shao is going to be more of a bruisery champ, trying to just tank up some damage, be there for some CC, not necessarily there for damage.
Speaking of CC, King Carr going to be feeling that one. His mage now trying to find his way out of his bot lane, though. You're just behind enemy lines, my friend. That's not where you belong. Drake is going to pick up that one. The goal, again, maybe should have gone into the pocket of Zodiac, but the jungler going to be picking that one up. And Sam Houston really starting to make this pressure felt across the rift now as they have complete control of this game. And Windstrom, again, we talked about this game being on his shoulders now, trying to do whatever he can just to get Texai down and get some of these plates, get some of this gold in his pocket, but at 30 seconds until plate wears off, not much that he can do there, so he's going to have to find a team fight, presumably here soon, to try and get back in this game. The other thing that I think is interesting to kind of focus on, too, and something that we haven't necessarily talked about a lot, is the shutdown goal that Sam Houston now has on multiple players within their roster right now. You've got 400 sitting on the jungler, 500 on an Ari who hasn't been killed yet. Oh, I guess that was a long drop on that one. I'm back in.
Okay.
I'm back. Well, the point that I was making to the collection of books sitting on my shelf is that while this game is in a perilous position for the South Virginia team, one thing that we do need to note is the amount of shutdown goals sitting on multiple members of this Sam Houston squad. And, you know, if they can find a favorable fight, if they can manage to pick a couple of these members and get the gold on to the Irelia, there is a tremendous value to be had there. But even as I say that, though, Windstrom not going to be able to get much of anything, trying to jump in on top of Puppy Cat, who's just dashing through there, manages to get out, though. Jim trying to see if he can follow it, but no, may have followed to his death. It's a 2-on-3 right now as the Charm's going to go through. Sato, can he survive? Sitting in the Shroud, but no, not able to do so. Double kill for Puppy Cat. And Sam Houston rocking and rolling on this rift, and nothing that anybody can do to stop them right now. As bot lane, Sam Houston working to knock down this tower. And the game well is and truly within their hands. Drakegank's not afraid of anybody as the stun stops Mage from getting the ulti out, and he gets rooted underneath the tower, dropping below half. Sam Houston playing on fire right now, everything going their way.
It does seem like that this gold lead is getting out of control because they're almost at a 9k gold lead after this tower goes down, and that's a lot of money. They're looking like each individual lane, mid lane's up 2.5 gold. Oh, I'm sorry, 3,500 gold in the mid lane. Bot lane's up 3,000 gold, and then the jungle's up 2,000 gold. It's just, there's too much gold just going all around onto these carries.
Speaking of gold on carries, the Sam Houston bot lane may have been cut out, maybe giving up some gold themselves. Lyra's going to drop. Zodiac can't get out. Sato trying to race him down. Is going to be able to do so. Exhaust comes out, but it's not going to be enough. 2 quick kills there for the South Virginia squad, picking up some of that gold. 400 gold shutdown going into the pocket of Sato, and maybe looking to get themselves back in this game 1 kill at a time.
And if they can just delay the soul even just a little bit longer, they may be able to come back into this game.
Absolutely, but it is a 2-on-4, but I don't favor the 4. Dragage jumping back in, is going to pop the ulti, and now Sato trying to run him down. Puppycat, plenty of damage though for everybody. Again, it was a 2-on-4, but the 2 seem to like it, and it's going to be a double kill. Now a quadra kill for Puppycat. Fantastic from the Sam Houston mid laner, and the world is their oyster. They're going to get the dragon, they're going to get the gold, the kills, and presumably start to put the cap on this game. We're only 16 minutes in, but it is more than a 10k gold lead. Sorry, exactly a 10k gold lead for this Sam Houston squad. Fantastic job by them, and honestly, very little answer by way of answer from the South Virginia squad.
Yeah, this is seeming like quite the crush as of so far, but there's still plenty of game to play. They've only taken the outer turrets.
Oh, Winstrom, you're in enemy territory. Misses the ulti. Not going to be able to do anything with that one. Lyra Stone here now. Zodiac firing away. The slow comes down. Zodiac going to be the recipient of that kill. Sam Houston can just do no wrong. Yes, they do lose the turret at the beginning of that altercation there, but more than happy to get the kill on the Aurelia and put the South Virginia team even further behind.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're getting some gold into their pockets with that turret take, yes, Aurelia dies. Yeah, that's 250, 300 gold into Sam Houston's pocket, but that's about 800 gold into the full team's pocket of Crimson Knights here, and that could be the difference.
Speaking of difference, they're trying to make a difference right now in this top lane. Ulti going to come back for Zodiac. This is the full team engagement for Sam Houston. What can they get done? Health bar's going low already for the side of the South Virginia team. Trying to buy time. Ulti going to come out. No! He dies in the middle of it, and now it's open season for Sam Houston. Dragons leading the way along with Lyros. What else can they get done? Dragons going to get the kill on top of the Sejuani, and they're running for the hills. A fight that they picked went back in the favor of Sam Houston, and now they're going to look to take down this top lane tier 2 and say, no, that's not where you need to be standing, my friend, because Sam Houston, they've got their eyes on the prize, and the prize is you if you stay there for too long. They pop the Herald. And South Virginia, what can they do? They can't do anything right now, trying to see, looking in awe and desperation as that tower goes down, and now they're just going to try to hold on to the outer tower leading into their base. Texai not afraid of Winster right now, though, may be dying here. And this South Virginia top laner gets something done. Texai feeling himself a little bit, is going to get stunned in place there, though, so going to walk out. The turret going down to the top lane. Sam Houston winning across the board right now. And Winstrop going to get swallowed up, throwing back towards the turret, but just going to dash his way out of there and be none the worse for wear.
There's nothing stopping this man. Tom Kench is afraid of nothing.
Tom Kench is absolutely afraid of nothing. Listen, he hit his one-item power spike, all right? He's on the board. He may stop this recall. No, doesn't know he's there. Winstrom not feeling the fight. Style, this is what we were talking about, the capability for Sam Houston to just get completely out of control with some of these fights without a whole lot of investment. And there's 4 people here, but you know what? I'm not feeling the 4-man stack here for the side of South Virginia because Puppycat only needs 1 person. The damage coming down. And JM nearly dropping below half. Gonna get charmed up again. The Puppy cannot seem to miss any of these skill shots, and now the 4 on the run. Not sure where the rest of the Sam Houston squad is at.
But that will be about a 30-second window for the Ahri ultimate to be down here. So they could make something happen, because you do see here that the Sejuani has her ultimate up still, and Sejuani can make some plays using that.
Absolutely. I'm starting to look across the board and start to see what else there is for Sam Houston to play, because one of the things that we consider to be the hallmark of good teams is how they can force around objectives and what else they can do to encourage a team that's losing to come and fight them, because there is this propensity when you are behind to just kind of stay back and try and lick your wounds and fight another day. But when you're giving up things like Dragon Soul, when you're giving up things like Elder Dragon and Baron, you start to find yourself being forced into fights that you don't necessarily want to take. And Sam Houston have a number of options available to them to start forcing some of these fights and end out this game. Baron already up now at the 20-minute mark. Another Dragon coming in very, very shortly. So Sam Houston, plenty of opportunities to end out this game early. And if they did end it sub 25 minutes, as they are well on the pace to do, it would be the start of an early night for them.
Because this game is quite a huge gold lead at this time. The gold lead's ballooned up to upwards of 11 to 12k. And that's a massive lead, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. I mean, start to look at the side of what South Virginia's actually been able to get. I mean, there is still quite a bit on the map for them to grab, but the difficulty for them is navigating through their own parts of the rift, through their own jungle, which, to be honest, they don't own. Is Sam Houston, no fear, just going to go ahead and take this Baron. There's no way for South Virginia to take this, and this is the prize you get when you're in such control of a game like this. You have a lead. I mean, 41-29. This might very well be the nail in the coffin that Sam Houston need to close out this game. 21 minutes. They're going to take the Baron pretty much on spawn. Is the Dragon coming up?
I don't even think that they get to trade the Dragon for the Baron. I think
don't
Sam
think so
Houston
either.
could just walk straight over to them.
Absolutely, and they appear to be doing so. Puppycat leading the way, not afraid at all. Jim DeBosch trying to see if he can find an angle there. Puppycat fighting for the scuttle, going in onto the Nautilus, but that may not necessarily be the target you want. Is this going to get free? The Misfortune ulti get him go mostly wide, and the first one to drop is Persona, and now the fight is breaking down in early. Sam Houston trying to clean this up. It's multiple members down for the side of Sam Houston. A double kill for Zodiac. It's Sam Houston. Clean ace, the South Virginia team. Sam Houston put the nail in the coffin for the South Virginia team. Is going to take the Dragon, and I believe that we just heard the sound of another game being started as I have music playing in the background because the Riot client is such a special invention. The Sam Houston well on their way.
This is the game here.
Absolutely. Sam Houston going to close this one out in easy fashion. The Baron. There's so much gold, so much pressure in the early game. It all started with that early kill on top of the Misfortune. No Summoners blown in that interaction, but more than enough to get the Sam Houston team going. And now it's just the accoutrements, the final touches to the game. South Virginia just trying to find a way, see if they can trade something. Sato going to pop the stasis. Not going to get out of that one, though. The Death Chamber, he goes. The Texai just eating all of the damage that the South Virginia team wants to throw in. And Winstrom taking damage as well. Aphelios going to pick up the turret down in the top lane. And Tompkins picking up another kill, and this is the final march here for this. Charm gonna hit on top of Winstrom, gonna fall, and now Mage left on his lonesome, the only surviving member of his team. Now Sona comes back in, and no, they're gonna try and get the Sona as well as they knock down these turrets. And Sam Houston going to be the winner of this first game, and they advance to 1-0 in this series.